So in today's video, I want to share a special workshop I filmed for Tarka Strike Club, which I was supposed to be taking part of, but mainly focused on filming. Now, this was a guest workshop led by John Zhang. I'm going to take you through what made this session so unique, some lessons I took away, and how it's inspired my own creative journey. So if you've been to my channel before, you know what I have previously done. If you haven't, I'm creative trying to move into the online space, kind of take you guys with me. So essentially, Adrian invited me to the session to film and partake, which is an opportunity for me to learn some combat so I look better on camera for my VFX and other projects I decide to make for social media. And this essentially makes me a part of Adrian's team, which is Tarka Strike Club. You don't know who Adrian is? Adrian Falconer is the founder of Tarka Strike Club, former WSA British champion in Filipino martial arts, sticks, blades, knife defense, etc. Trained at Liverpool Institute for Performing Arts, also known as LIPA. Works as an actor, performer, fight choreographer across film, TV, and theatre. Tarka is both his creative outlet and a community hub for performers, martial artists, dancers, and actors, which ranges from beginners to advanced. John Zhang is a stunt artist turned actor. The works that come to mind is The Brother's Son and the upcoming Masters of the Universe. John, as a former stunt performer, has been in Fast and Furious, The Gentleman, Marvel's Eternals, and Kraven the Hunter. He's a lifelong martial artist with 20 plus years of martial arts, from teaching armed forces to your everyday Joe. But wait, we don't stop there. Passionate about sharing martial arts philosophy. John is the author of The Martial Heart. And something that really stood out to me about John was he wrote personal thank you cards to everyone who attended the session or helped with the workshop. This guy is lovely, and that's the only word I can use for it. Bro, do you know how rare it is to get a thank you card? I really took that to heart. Thank you, John. As I started off with, I was essentially supposed to come along and partake in a class to bolster my own skills, as well as get some small shots that can be used for advertising within Tarka in the future to help them grow. How great the event was and the importance of this workshop. I feel like I had to take a step back, focus on filming, and seeing a workshop of this caliber is always eye-opening as you get to see how professionals work. I wasn't just thinking about filming the movement as a physical technique. I was thinking about film etiquette and the picture that's being portrayed amongst the combatants. Being present in every moment, which was pretty hard because I was constantly getting distracted by all the cool moments that was happening within the class, and staying consistent when no one's watching, which I feel like is very, very core when being someone who's on a creative journey. It doesn't matter who's watching, it just matters about where you're going. I don't know if that's the right thing to say. Anyway, we'll leave that. And I feel like something that was most important was me and my colleague tried to capture the most important essence of what a class is, the energy, the impact, and the feeling that's expressed through their faces. And I feel like the biggest impactful moment for the whole of the workshop for me was not so much the action, but more of the points where John and his assistant and Adrian would talk. And it's like kind of like a seminar in between action moments. So they're just giving breakdowns of things to do on set. And then at the end, they did actually have a seminar. We're just talking about the experiences. It's kind of what really stood out to me. This effort is worth it. And sometimes, you know, as a creative, especially when you're by yourself, you kind of lose that path or that feeling of that journey which you're on. And it's always great to kind of, you know, explore other areas, like go into a gallery or go into a park. Me personally, that's when my creative juices start to flow, and that session was what I needed. Kind of hit a wall, and yeah, I'm feeling much better and it feels a lot less foggy. And the lesson that John and his assistant gave was to stay humble and stay authentic within your professional surroundings. John's journey showed me how unexpected and how diverse a career can be. From stunt work to acting to teaching to writing a book. This guy even makes music. I don't know how many hours he has in a day, but he feels like he has way more than me. And that's something I inspire to do, is to achieve everything I want to achieve. And that was kind of like one of the key points he spoke on, is interested in something and he wants to achieve it, and he goes for it without fear and the thought. And this is where I'm going to go on to talk about what I plan to do and where I plan to go with my videos. Looking to explore new ways of storytelling from my filming, my VFX, my cosplay, my anime builds, 3D printing, and other things pop culture and anime related. It reminded me that creativity is not just a straight line, it's a journey with all the ups and downs. And this experience ties back to everything I've been working on. VFX, experimenting with new format, anime/pop culture builds. It's all about creating and sharing my journey. And hopefully I get to experience that journey with many other creatives as I go along. And something I'm really trying to embed and learn within myself is life, content, and projects don't always go as planned. But this is part of building something that's meaningful to me and to potentially to the people that watch my videos. Did that make sense there? A massive thanks to Adrian, John, Tarka Strike Club, and everyone who attended the session for allowing me to capture the beauty as cheesy as that sounds. Now here's a question. Should I keep documenting events like this or actually join in next time? I'd appreciate a comment below of what you think I should do. Look out for the next video, which I'll be talking about review with the 3D printer. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Hope you're blessed. Peace.